Welcome everybody from YouTube. Just wait for a few people to join. Welcome. Just wait for a few people to join here. Give it 5 minutes or so. There is no rush. Market open. It's a nice gap down, I have to say. Evening, Sam. How's it going, my friend? Okay. Hello. How's it going? I think that's Elias. How's it going, Elias? Hope everybody's had a good rested weekend, because this week we're gonna kill it. So if you guys get yourself down to the streams Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock GMT, we're gonna have a good week here this week. Gonna stay disciplined and do all the right things. Evening, how's it going? Thanks for coming on. It'd be nice if we can get some more people here on the Sunday market open. I know that there's obviously less people want to do that, but you know, we're here to learn. We can look at pairs, you know, coming into the week. If you guys want to send me some, you know, your weekly outlook, because listen, you want to always have, you know, like a weekly outlook, right? Because then that's gonna make you look at, you know, the higher time frames, you know, really picturing the moves. So I'm just going to clear everything over here, make sure my charts are fresh for the new week. I took a complete break away from the charts this weekend. I needed just some time away, really. You know, it's important to have that balance. Trust me, it's really important. Yeah, we'll give it just like a couple more minutes here. Wait for a few more people to join, and then we're gonna dive straight into this. But yeah, what'd you guys get up to the weekend? Did you guys doing any back testing? Anything like that? Man, once gold breaks this bullish structure, it's gonna be a dump. Okay, yeah, we'll just give it 1 or 2 more minutes here, guys. Just wanna, you know, really maximize the amount of people here before we start breaking things down. So. Going on, Fo. Nice to have you on the stream. Let's look at GJ. Okay, let's check out the spreads. That's the first thing. What's going on, Brown Panther? Yeah, I'm good. How are you, mate? Right, let's check out the spreads on GJ. Okay, my spreads are a little bit higher right now, but I mean, we're not going to take anything yet anyway. Okay, my spread's around 3.5, 4 pips, so probably need to give it a little bit more time for spreads to die down. Okay, how many we got here? We've got 13 people. 13 people. Okay. Yeah, then we're gonna make a start. I think. Yeah. Then we are gonna make. Okay. Let's make a start. So let's start off here with GDP/JPY. Let's go from the monthly time frame. Let's look at the monthly time frame. And we're gonna really break it down time frame by time frame, right? So guys, this is gonna be, this is the type of analysis that is sent, to the group. So this is pretty yeah, I'd take some notes maybe, or yeah, just let's pay close attention. So let's start off here with a monthly time frame. So looking at the monthly time frame, we can clearly see we're in this downtrend, creating these lower high points. This is something that's been previously mentioned in webinars and previous analysis videos. So we know that we're in this overall higher time frame market downtrend structure, right? Now let's focus in on the candles, right? So the previous monthly candle we know is bearish. We spoke about that. We spoke about the fact, it broke the low of the previous monthly candle. We know we're in this, downtrend area. So, there's a good chance that this current monthly candle, if we look at the way it's forming up, it's already creating some form of top wick. So there is a chance that this current monthly candle, if it can start to go bearish, then maybe there's a chance it's going to come down for this wick over here. Or at the same time, if we break this monthly support, we have these ultra low points down over here around 138 sort of price level that, price can continue to drop further down. So that's looking at it from a monthly perspective. So we just want to have that idea in the back of our mind. Maybe the monthly candle is going to start to come down through this wick, or at the same time it could come up close bullish. We don't know, because we have bearish downtrend, but we can still have monthly candles close bullish, etc. So this is we're only looking at potential anticipations, but either way, right, we still want to have our confirmations in place. So what we want to do is we want to go to the smaller time frame. So now looking at the weekly time frame, but let me just pause the music here for 1 minute just so we can break down GJ real quick. So looking at the weekly time frame, we can see here on the weekly time frame, now let's start to really map out our levels, that we created a resistance up over here, right? This is the resistance created from last week. This was at 137 800, and we had looked at this previous area before as somewhat of a previous support. So we've kind of currently create a resistance. Now as we look at market structure on the weekly time frame, we're looking at, this was the low that was created a few weeks ago, and now we've done a retracement and we formed a resistance below this support. So now if we were looking at this from a 30-minute perspective, an hour perspective, we would say at this point there's a very high chance this current weekly candle is going to come up, create some form of top wick, and come down, fill the weekly, do the weekly wick fill, and then maybe continue moving down to our next area of support. So we're going to go ahead, draw out our key levels here from the weekly time frame. So looking at the weekly time frame, we can see here, this is our next area of support, 134.540. Okay, so this is a strong level. So looking at the weekly, price can either come back up to 137 800, which is like 190 pips, or it can continue down to 134 500, which is around 140 pips away. Okay, looking at the weekly, price can only go up and down. So either it's going to come up to a resistance, or it's going to come down to a support. So really start to see mapping out higher time frame key levels. Now if we go to the daily time frame, we're going to get some more information over here. So looking on the daily, this makes sense for that resistance, the resistance formed at the previous support. But if we just want to maybe neaten this up a little bit, something like this, because this is going to make sense. So bullish candle came up, tried to close back above this support, and then we had this like resistance formed for some further down. Now what we can see here is the fact that price has gapped down. Currently we are closing maybe at this support over here at around 135 700 800. In fact, let's bring this up a bit because we want to be looking more at maybe this area over here, because this is previous information. We have this new support level, so we're going to be focusing really on this level here, 135 850. So we're going to go with that, 135 850. So this is a strong level on the daily time frame. Now, as we can see on the daily, as we start to really magnify in and see what more information we have, we can see here in the daily time frame that if we break this support at 135 850, we have clean counter to left hand side, maybe at first coming down to fill this this range over here. Kind of price has created some liquidity before driving further up. So I think if price is going to come down, this is going to be a good area for price to do so. So maybe 135 050. Now, if it can come further down, ultimately this is going to be the ultimate target area for the low to be retested on the high time frames, which is obviously 135 500. No, sorry, 133 500. Sorry, my apologies. So yeah, we're gonna look at maybe we have this clean move up on the daily time frame. We have some obviously areas of issue on these smaller time frames. These wicks over here will be support levels on your 4 hour, your 1 hour. So if we go to the 4 hour, probably going to see some more information. As you can see, these are these areas of support. So price would have to break through these levels for price to continue moving down. So if we do look at the 4 hour and the overall structure, we have this kind of change in market structure right now. So here was the structure on the 4 hour. We had this this low over here. They were sort of creating these higher lows, right? And then price in an uptrend, creating these higher highs up over here, and then same sort of thing going on, these higher lows. So we can clearly see that we're in this uptrend. Now, once we got to this level here, this area up over here, this was like a resistance that price just exhausted. This bullish run exhausted. So what we saw was we saw this kind of break of this market structure, and then what we saw was this support currently being respected. So I think at this point, once this support breaks, I think that's going to be a good idea, that this overall market structure could be corrected. So, this should be your first level of target down over here, 135. We maybe then see like a pullback back up to this area, and then some further push down to here, come down, resistance. So it's that almost new trend. So this was the, let's clear this, make this a bit more neat. Let's clear this and make this a bit more neat. So I don't, again, I always say I don't like trend lines, but just for this example, I think it's going to be a good idea to show market structure. So this was the original market structure. So you can kind of see these points at which, price was creating this liquidity around this area, this price level to continue pushing up. Now, obviously what we're saying was we've reached an area where price could no longer continue pushing. And obviously there was that sort of exhaustion there. Now, what we saw a break of market structure, because otherwise, we would needed to respect around this area for price to continue moving up. It didn't. It's come back down to retest the support level. Now, right now, price, is struggling to break this support. But at the same time, we're looking at the fact that once we break this level, now we're going to maybe start seeing that reversal, that downtrend on the higher time frames, right? We've been mapping out on our weekly, our monthly. So, for putting all of these into confluence, we're looking at the fact that, the monthly time frame, the weekly time frame, for them all to go bearish, we need to be breaking support levels on the smaller time frame. So for example, on the 4 hour, we need to be breaking this support. Then we need to be breaking this next level of support. Then we need to be breaking our next level of support, for price to continue moving down. So as we're breaking these levels, this is the weekly, the monthly, those higher time frame moves that, we're envisioning before it happens. These are the confirmations, because as we're breaking supports, you're going to start seeing pullbacks, and that's where you're going to start to see the new structure coming into play if we're going to start to see this full correction of this upside move. Now, obviously fundamentally in things, price as it looks like the bullish run is exhausting, and maybe we are going to get that higher time frame continuation to the downside from this push that we had a couple of weeks ago. And then now we've seen maybe like an exhaustion of the bearish move, and then maybe like a 50% correction. Now at this point, again, we could just range between these two higher time frame levels, which obviously would mean price wouldn't continue moving down. But we need this support to break, this strong daily support to break, for a continuation to the downside. Okay, so yeah, so looking on the higher time frame on GJ, that's kind of what we're looking at. What's going on, Munch? Fundamentally, pound looking weak. Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm about to say. So at the end of the day, like, there's nothing fundamentally going on for price to continue breaking above this 50% correction mark of this this big drop. So nothing's changed, right? There's no Brexit deal on the table yet. There's only more restrictions coming in. There's no real signs of like as they say, a recovery. Obviously it's difficult because there's going to be this constant cycle of jobs being cut and things like that. So the implications are going to be over a long period of time. So, but I would agree, yeah, there's nothing strong about the pound for us to correct this drop, because obviously this was a fundamental move. So yeah, I would agree that maybe we're going to see some more downside. What's going on, finance? Thanks for coming. So yeah, so that's what we're kind of looking at. So let's focus in now, lastly, just on the higher time frame. Let's just focus in now on the candles. So what I want to look at here is this previous daily candle, so the Friday's candle. Now I know it did close above this area. It closed above this area, so it means it is respecting this area as a support, right? But we look at this sort of candle structure on the 30-minute, the other time frames a lot, and when we see a weak bullish candle close and we see like a heavy bearish candle the day before, there's a chance that price can just start to push further down. So maybe price this, the beginning of the week could start to come down and break in these levels. But I think, things may have to change, or, if we get some more negative news this week, then maybe that's a possibility. Hey man, if you look at GDP JPY on the daily, would you be bullish bias? I mean, looking at the daily, I'd say like right now, I'd say like right now we're at support. So, we know that when price is at a support and it looks like it's rejected this area right now. So currently, I can't say that there's the sales bias, because, we're at support. We haven't broken a support. I also can't say there's a buyer's bias because, towards the end of last week and last week kind of in general, we saw this exhaustion and bearish momentum come into the market. If we also look, as we were saying on the 4-hour time frame, there's been certainly like a break of market structure on the 4-hour. So right now I'm looking for a break of this support on the higher time frames, because then that's going to give me that sales bias at that point. But at the same time, I think I would have that bullish bias if we can continue to respect this area as a support, and it looks like price can't really break this area. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. But yeah, like I say, we look at the candle structure. This candle closed very weak bullish. It did come down and create like a really long tail, but at the same time, we can see this wick get filled, especially if there's something fundamentally or anything along those lines that come in to push price further down. So I think I think we could see a more bearish week, I have to be honest. But right now I'm not going to call bullish bearish bias. I think I've laid out at what point I would change or make a bias on the high time frame, because right now ultimately it's kind of just consolidating between 135 850 and 137 let's just say 137 600. So yeah, we do have to kind of just bear that in mind, because we've been kind of above this area and below this area since, you know, the start of the month. So yeah, let's hold fire so far. So anyway, let's clear all this. I see that daily liquidity area as a zone. Yeah, I'd say like right now this is like a liquidity area, but we got to look at the fact that, you know, we're creating this resistance. So again, if we can break this resistance, then I think at that point, you know, price should continue moving up, of course. But right now, I just don't see anything that's gonna give the pound that boost to do so. So, but we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, let's clear this and let's go to the smaller time frame. So anyway, let's look focus in now on the Asian session. So we've done a little bit of a weekly outlook there, but let's focus in on the Asian session. So looking at the 4 hour, so this was the resistance that we had from before the weekend, at, you know, 136 200. So this is somewhat of a strong resistance. It does also look like we kind of need to respect this area for price to maybe continue moving down. Otherwise, if price can, you know, break above this resistance, we have clean candles to the left hand side on the 4 hour time frame coming up to this area over here. So we're looking at that. Let's go to the 1 hour. So looking on the 1 hour time frame, we want to, you know, always neaten up via our smaller time frame. So we can see here the 1 hour created a resistance up over here at 136 or 136 300, and this was like a previous support from before the weekend. So we can see that we are in this huge range right now on the 1 hour time frame. We can see, you know, price has kind of consolidated throughout this range. This is a dirty range. If we look at, you know, the spike within this range, yeah, I would want to wait for this consolidation to be broken. Even if we look on the 30-minute time frame, you know, 30-minute overall is just consolidating hard within this area. So I think the best thing is gonna say wait for something, you know, outside of this area. So as we look left, we can see that we have so we have a resistance, and as we look left, we see we have a clean candle to the left hand side, coming up to, you know, 136 600. So what we want to do is we want to measure this range over here. So this is a 30 pip range on the 30-minute time frame. So definitely room for a buy. And then, you know, if we can successfully break above this resistance, we look further left and we can see, well, we shouldn't have any issue until we reach this previous support and resistance area around 136 830. Okay, so let's also mark that up. And then this is the high over here, which is our final zone that price should come up to. So we can see here our zones for buys. So at the same time, you know, within this range, we can kind of say, I'd actually even maybe from a 30-minute point of view bring this up, because this kind of looked like it broke down to maybe create like a resistance, and then this was a fake out, and this was the point at which a strong support was established. So I think that's going to be a good idea, but we'll see what happens with that. So for sales, as we look left, okay, so we can see here that we have a support down over here. This is somewhat of a strong level. So let's, okay, yeah. So what we want to be looking at is the fact that if we can successfully break below this support 135 750, I think there's a good chance price is going to continue down. You may want to be, you know, a little bit wary of this area, but I think we're going to be okay with volume coming in. Obviously, maybe not tonight, but especially in the you know, London, New York session. So this range is like 45 pips. So I think that's going to be a good idea if, you know, if price can successfully break this support. So it looks like I kind of gapped within this range. So yeah, this range is just very dirty, and I think it's going to be a good idea to wait for something out of this consolidation area. So I think, you know, for this live stream, it could get a bit of a waiting game. I doubt we're going to break this area. This is a strong level from last week, so yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to break this. I also think if we break this resistance, if we look on the daily, this would kind of be the daily coming up to maybe break the high of the previous daily before the weekend. And at that point, I'd be less inclined to look for like a sell for this wick fill. If it can respect the high, and then I wake up and I'm like, okay, well, London session's trying to break support, I think at that point there's a much higher chance that it's going to continue moving down, I have to say. So we'll look at that. But I suppose we can, while we wait on GJ over here, let's break down gold. Remember, if you guys want to send in any charts for us to check out, any weekly analysis, whatever it is, we'll check that out for you. Okay. So just checking the spreads over here. Spreads have calmed down a lot more. Mine's around 2 pips. But I think we'll be alright. Okay. Right, so looking at gold over here, let's go to the monthly time frame. So I just make gold a little bit shorter, but I think this is going to be a good one. So looking at gold on the monthly, just on a quick basis, so we can see, this was the all-time high up over here that price has created. So we can see it's starting to do like a retracement. So there is a chance that this current monthly candle is creating like a top wick to maybe continue moving down. So we always look at how a candle starts, how a candle forms. This current candle over here is creating that top wick first, so it could be generating that liquidity to continue to push price further down. So if we look at it from a monthly perspective, just a monthly perspective, where can price continue down to? Well, we can see, around this area here was the point at which price pushed further up. So this is going to be maybe an area of interest over here on gold. This is around 1677, 1678. So I think that's going to be a good level on the monthly time frame. But let's go to the weekly over here, because weekly is going to give us some more information. So we're looking on the weekly time frame. We also have this resistance area to maybe consider. We never really kind of did that retracement to form a support, so this could be an area at which price may continue down to. However, for the weekly time frame to continue down to these areas, it needs to break below this support that was created. But if we look at the structure now on gold, we can see, this is the high, and we're now creating this like lower high, another lower high, and another lower high, right? So we also respected this area as a resistance. So the previous weekly candle respected this area as a resistance, and this was the previous support. So I think at this point there's a much higher probability for price to continue moving down and retest the low it created around 1858. So at the same time, this current weekly candle may come up, create like a top wick, like we said, and then come down, do the weekly wick fill, and then continue down to 1858 or 1860. Now, finally, if we go to the daily time frame, we're going to get some more information here. So this was the low on the weekly time frame. So we could definitely now target this area, because we have some other areas of support on the daily time frame as well. Now, our most important area is this area right here. So this was the point at which the resistance was created on gold at 19,500, and this was the area where this was a previous support. So in terms of structure, we've kind of reached an area where we've rejected on the daily time frame a strong resistance, but at the same time we're looking at market structure and it's still pretty bullish. So this is the point at which it's either going to break up, start breaking back up into this range, and then we can maybe complete and fill this range, or we're going to start to see a break of market structure, similar to what we looked at on the 4-hour on GJ. So that's another thing that we are going to look at over here. So right now on gold, we can see that we have a support down over here, and we also have a resistance on gold as well. So we can see, we're kind of in this range over here. So I think a good idea is once this support is broken at 1890, 750, I think with volume and with momentum, I think we're going to start to break through these levels and continue down to retest the low and this support down over here. So I think that's going to be a good idea. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame on gold. So looking at the 4-hour, let's clear everything now because we just want to focus in for the Asian session. So looking on the 4-hour, we can see we have this resistance up over here. This is a previous support. At the same time, we have a support down over here. So we're in a range right now. Let's measure this range here on gold. This range is 160 pips, 170 pips. This is a big range. Look on the 1-hour time frame. Okay, so looking on the 1-hour time frame, we have a support being created, like currently, and at the same time, we have a resistance up over here on gold. Let's check this left. This was a previous support from before the weekend. So this is some strong levels over here. Let's remove this and create or neaten this zone. So I think we're gonna have our zone somewhere around this area here. Let's look on the 30-minute time frame now. Finally, so looking on the 30-minute time frame for gold, okay, so this is pretty good. We can see here, we're ranging between this resistance and this support that's being respected, ever since the market open, and this resistance currently being respected. So again, we're just gonna need to wait for either this resistance to break or this support. So if we measure the range to the next support, if we break this area, we have clean counter to left hand side. Maybe this is going to be a good area for a target down over here around 1892. So let's measure this range here on gold. So this is around 65 pips, so this is a good range. And then for buys, I think we could definitely get up to this resistance, because this is the point at which price, multiple times rejected this area, tapped into this area. So I think that's going to be a good idea. Let's also measure this range here on gold. This is like, okay, 65 pips as well. So yeah, so gold looks pretty good. Some good ranges there. So again, it's just a little bit of waiting involved now, and then to wait for price to break out. GJ not really doing much. Who's your broker? Currently with Vantage, but I'm moving over to Black Bull. I just opened up my new MT5 account, so I'm just gonna wait a couple of weeks and then I will make that transition. Plus I'm looking to do my first withdrawal at the end of the month anyway, so why not do it all at once? So yeah, but I mean, if you want to sign up with a broker, I highly recommend Black Bull Markets. That's why I'm moving over to them. I actually know them, so they're like a broker that I personally trust. But I would always encourage people to do their research as well. Never take anybody's word for anything. Despite me knowing what I know about them as a firm, it is really important that you do go check things out for yourself, because that way you're gonna have that in the back of your mind. So yeah, go do your research on them. Look what they accounts they do, things like that. There will be a I do have like an affiliate link with them. It will be in the description of this video later, but if not, you can just go on previous streams, and it's in the bio there. But yeah, like I say, with brokers, just do your research, and yeah, just even if I had 20 people tell me, oh, this is the new broker, it's the best broker, I'd always go check it out myself. You always want to do your own research on these things, so that's really important. H, how do you get the box drawing tool to extend horizontally automatically? Okay, so pretty much what you want to do is next time you draw a box, you want to right click it, you want to go to settings, and down over here in this is it coordinates style? Yeah. Oh, okay, so you want to go to style. That's the first thing you want to do, and you want to do extend right, And then coordinates, you just change this to, you know, whatever, like let's say 500, and then, you know, it just, yeah, moves it over a little bit or whatever. But yeah, so that's basically what you want to do. Just put that number to like a really high number, and then it will just extend all the way right for you. So yeah, that's how you do that. So a bit of waiting involved here tonight, guys. So, you know, if you guys want to send charts, etc., this is your opportunity. Because we probably won't get anything, but it just, yeah, it is what it is. Okay. I think we're going to see some more Euro JPY bearish momentum come in this week as well. That's the other thing that I was looking at, because we have now a complete violation of that bullish structure, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's get the music back on over here. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys coming down to watch. I know Sunday's probably not ideal, and I mean, I'm thinking, you know, in a few months, if the numbers are still low, then maybe people don't really want it that much. I mean, we'll see if it's worth the time for you guys. But the Monday to Friday London session streams will obviously the main thing people want to come and watch. So okay, so same sort of thing here on Euro JPY. You know, we can see this current monthly candle has created this top wick. Now it's starting to flip bearish, so I think there's a chance it could come down and fill the monthly wick fill. Okay, let's look at the weekly time frame. Make this a bit more quick. So weekly's created that resistance over here, same sort of structure as GJ and gold, and it has the low down over here. So I think, yeah, again, this weekly candle should maybe, you know, pop up a little bit and then start to drive down by the looks of it. Let's look at the daily. So yeah, looking at the daily, all we would need would be for we would need this support to break. This support over here from before the weekend, we would need that to break, and then for price to continue moving down. So I think we could get that early on in the week. Can you turn the music down 50%? I can't, because this is on 1%. It's really quiet. I think it may be the song. Yeah, I mean, try maybe turn the volume down overall, but you should be able to hear me fine. But if it gets a pain, let me know, guys, and I'll turn the music off. Obviously the music is just there, just so it's not awkward silence. So yeah, but at the same time, you know, looking at Euro JPY, if we do respect this area as a support, you know, we do have this clean traffic up over here, so we'll see what happens. Look at the 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hour. This is what I'm talking about on the 4 hour. This sort of candle structure. You know, we're in an uptrend, and then we kind of get this break. We didn't really get the pullback over here, so we could, you know, see like a pullback and then some further downside. But I mean, it's moved down it's moved down quite a bit right now, so it could just continue. Yeah, sorry about that, Ryan. I don't know what's going on with the music in terms of, I get people saying it's not loud, I get people saying it is loud, so ultimately I just want to be able to have it on. But yeah, I hope people like these streams, the Sunday streams. There is that odd Sunday, you know, that you can catch something. Okay, let's look at your JPY from the smaller time frame perspective now. So looking on the 4 hour, it looks like the 4 hour has created a resistance, for maybe price to continue moving down. It may have some issues at this previous area over here, so we're going to look at that. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, so looking on the 1 hour time frame, it could have some issues at this resistance area up over here. And then at the same time, we have this area here to the left hand side as well. So this is a resistance and a previous support. So we're looking at, potentially if we break above on the 1 hour time frame, we have a clean traffic to the left hand side. It's kind of where this kind of tried to come up to, but couldn't reach there. Now if we go to the 30-minute, so looking at the 30-minute time frame, we are kind of reacting to this resistance right now. So I think, ultimately the best thing to do is going to be to wait for like a resistance back within this range. And then I think a good target is going to be, maybe down over here. First of all, this kind of liquidity area. And then I think if we can break that, then we have clean traffic to left hand side. So I think at that point price will have no worries to come down to this next area. So at the same time on Euro JPY, we're looking at this was like a previous support. We had this resistance created from market open. So yeah, I think if we can successfully get a support back above 123,500, I think that's going to be a good idea for price to maybe fill this range. But then the range isn't so big, so yeah, not going to execute on that. But we'll see what happens. Check out GJ. Yeah, not really doing much. Gold just coming down. So last pair for the Asian session that we look at, USD JPY. Just go to the daily over here. Looking at the daily time frame, looks like the daily done a fake out of this support area. This is obviously a strong key level, so I think once it just breaks above this minor or daily resistance, it has clean candle to left hand side, so it should continue moving up at that point. Look at the 4 hour time frame. Looking at the 4 hour. 4 hour has a resistance up over here. So it's the 4 hour resistance. And then at the same time, we remove this, we can see that we have a 4 hour support down over here. So it looks like some liquidity is being generated within this area to push price further up. So I think once it breaks this resistance, I think it's going to be a good idea for price to continue moving up to fill this next range on the 4 hour time frame. Now let's look at the 1 hour, because like I say, we always want to neaten up our zones as we get to our next time frame. So looking at the 1 hour, we can see we're creating this resistance up over here, and at the same time 1 hour is creating a support. So we can just identify that price is ranging. If we go to the 30-minute, same thing, price is just ranging. And then if we look to maybe neaten this up a bit, this was a previous support, and then it's like now a resistance, and then we can just bring this down a little bit more from a 30-minute time frame perspective. So I think if we can successfully break this support, we do have a clean counter left hand side, so this is going to be a good area for like a sell target for those of you who trade UJ. And then I think the next good idea is going to be this hourly area down over here, but we'll bring this up just slightly. Yeah, this is going to be a good area for a secondary target. For buys, the first area we could incur some issue is going to be this resistance, so it's going to be a very small range. But then if we can successfully break above that resistance, we have further clean traffic coming up to our next resistance. So again, we want to mark that one out, and then yeah, from there I think we're good to just wait and see what happens. Yeah, so everything's kind of just ranging right now. So I mean, I don't know if people want to ask any questions or anything. You know, I'm sure there's always something to be learnt. So if you want any questions, we can run through that. So I'm here for, guys, ask questions, man. This is free as well, you know. So people in the group, they pay for this. They pay to be able to ask me questions, and you guys got it here for free today. So yeah, really use that time wisely, man. Loving these tunes, man. Loving these tunes. So looking at GJ, previous candle close with no wick to the bottom, but it looks like a rejection of this area, so price may continue down. Okay, say we break out of the range. How would you look to execute a trade? Like, you wait for the pullback after the breakout, or would you trade the actual breakout? It depends on the situation, but usually if there's volume and price is breaking above a level, I would trade the breakout. So let's say this is tomorrow's stream, and this candle is starting to break up and closes above. You know, at that point I would look for buys, you know, maybe on the retest, something like that. And then if price can push up, then great. But let's say it doesn't work, the buys don't work initially, and you know, price comes up and it starts to just consolidate at this level. You know, that's where we're reducing the risk. And then at that point we would just wait for like an extra confirmation, you know, for price to continue moving up. So then we'd either wait for that high to be created on a retracement, or whether it be just you know, a price started to break up, and then we look to catch that further momentum. So there's a few ways, but most of the time once the price breaks out, I'll be looking to trade that that breakout. It's only when, you know, like over here, there's kind of like an area of previous support. So like, for example, in this situation, I may be more inclined to wait for, you know, price to come up, create like a high around this area, do a retracement, and then continue up. It's going to be better. But there's times in volume where, you know, price can just run without you, and you know, that's just how it goes. So this could be a rejection here on GJ. Yeah, it could be. But I mean, candle closing no wick to the bottom, so we'll see how that goes. I think it's yeah, I think it'd be risky for sells. Like, I don't personally want. Yeah, I'm not touching really anything in this range. So again, I know I always say it, guys, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Especially if you like the content. Especially if you like the content. If you're new to the stream, thank you for coming to watch. If you want any questions answered, put it in the chat. Any charts, then send the chart in the chat. Send me the little link and then we can check out your chart. Do you enter trade on a 15-minute time frame? Yes, sometimes, but I prefer to trade off the 30-minute time frame. Would you say in the London session it's not advisable to take trades during Frankfurt Open and wait for London in terms of volume in your experience? I mean, I think Frankfurt Open probably like, I don't know, maybe Sweden or Switzerland or something, their market open. But I think it depends, because we get volume in pre-London. So if we just talk about the actual London session, because that's kind of what I know, you know, before the London session, you can get volume and you can get breakouts before London Open. At the same time, you can also get, you know, range until London Open. So I mean, it depends. I think from pre-London, so like an hour to 2 hours just before London Open, you do get volume. So once price is starting to break levels at that point, you know, there is volume in the market. You may want to wait for London Open. That's personal choice. But you know, yeah, like me personally, I want to wait for London Open. I want to wait for, you know, price to kind of calm down and give a little bit of time, and then we'll see kind of what direction it looks like it wants to go in for the day. And yeah, that's basically what I do. So yeah, I would just say pre-London's fine, but just not really before that, because that's kind of coming into Asian at the end of the Asian session, and there's just going to be that lack of volume really. Yeah, I've found any time from 7 AM is usually a nice time to catch a trade. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, from around 7. Yeah, see, like over here, this is an example. So this is kind of like 6 o'clock, 6 AM is when there's kind of like pre-London volume coming into the market. So that's what you can see here. We started to see some, you know, slightly bigger bearish candles, and then this is kind of the hour before it's the hour before London Open. So there we can see we had some volume. Then this is like the London Open pullback, and then we had some more pushes down there. So then we want to wait for just for a bit more of a clearer direction. What time you jumping on the live tomorrow? We'll be here from 9 o'clock GMT, so an hour after London Open. We want to wait for price to kind of just calm down a little bit, like I say, and then we'll jump on the live. Yep, see you later, folks. See you tomorrow. Which pair are we looking at? Sorry, this pair is GDP JPY. Yeah, this pair is GJ, yeah. Yeah, so if you look to the right hand side of my screen, these are all the pairs that I either trade, do analysis on, or kind of just, yeah, analysis or trade pretty much. Yeah, no worries, mate. No problem. So it looks like USD JPY is trying to break up over here. Let me just show it to you. Yeah, this range here in USD. Ah, it's like 5 pips, man. It's nothing. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna continue moving up. Yep, see you later, my friend. We'll see you tomorrow for the London session. If you're gonna come down to watch. So that's funny. So GJ gapped down, but the FTSE gapped up. Interesting. Yep. See you tomorrow, Brown Panther. See you tomorrow, mate. Ooh. Do you ever take trades before Asian Open? Yeah, I take trades before Asian Open. So obviously if there's volume coming into the market before Asian Open and prices already breaking above, key levels, then obviously that does suggest that there's already volume. So yeah, I would take it. But at least we had a bigger turnout this week than we did last week. Last week we had only like 8 people, so 20 is pretty good for a Sunday. But my goal for the London streams this week is if we can hit 100 viewers would be fantastic. Euro JPY trying to break above this resistance over here, but range is way too small in Euro JPY. So it does look like GJ is trying to come up and break the high of the bearish candle over here, but yeah, we need to wait for something out of this range. Impulse entries are going to be way too risky right now. Yeah, way too risky. We can't see anything on TradingView. You should zoom more. You should be able to see. I do zoom out at times, but I mean, if you're looking at your phone, obviously it's going to be smaller. So. Yeah, I trade the London session, so I do live streams for the London session. I trade the London and pre-New York overlap pretty much is what I do. Yeah, I think it's your resolution on YouTube, because I'm looking at it right now and it looks pristine, it looks good, it looks clear. So I think that's your end, guys. If you go on your YouTube video, there's a setting where you can change the resolution of the YouTube video, because it should be pretty good. I think that's your end. I literally just checked on my phone and it looked fine. Okay, yeah, I thought so, because I was just looking at it on my phone. I was like, it's completely clear on my phone. So yeah, guys, I think that's your settings. You can obviously up the resolution on the YouTube video, but I just made the screen a little bit bigger there anyway, so yeah, it's slightly bigger now, so hopefully that should help anyway. So what are we looking at now for GJ? Well, I'm looking for maybe a break above 137, sorry, 136 300. But yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna get that here tonight. I'm gonna wait for this candle to close, see where it closes, and then maybe we're gonna call it a session soon. But yeah, I mean, it's probably just gonna range. Doesn't look like to be a lot of volume. If there's usually volume on a Sunday, we would know by now. USD JPY is still breaking up. Break up the major zone, create a high, form some kind of resistance, and retest the high. Yep, definitely what I'm looking for, but I don't think we're gonna get that tonight. Yo, just deep. It does look like it's starting to break up, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to get anything here tonight, guys. This candle's got, like 1 minute left to close. It's not closing above this area. Even if it did close above this area, it'd still have to wait another 30 minutes, as the next candle comes to a close. So I think we're gonna call it a session here soon. Just wait for this candle to close, and then we'll see. How did you level up on your lot size, and do you use your own money for trading or some company like Timo? So I found myself. So I increased my lot size just by being consistent, and then I decided, at the end of every month, if I keep my consistent and if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm gonna give myself a promotion at the end of the month. I'm gonna say, okay, well, next month I'm ready to increase my risk, or I'm ready to increase the lot size by however much I'm ready to go up by. So usually it will increase by maybe a whole one lot at a time, so 1 to 2, 3, 4, etc. So this month for October is 2 lots, and then November we should be moving up to 3 lots. If price would wick up into 136 300 and then reject and close bearish, would you consider this a good sell? I'd say that's up to you. I would say that's up to you. I personally wouldn't take a sell just off one bearish candle or one rejection, because like as we can see, just as I see a lot happen, you can get one candle reject and then the next candle start to push back up above the range. So yeah, I think the better thing to do is just sit and wait until this range is broken. But that's up to you. I mean, if people like taking a trade within the range, if they look to look for a support, resistance, it's still a fairly big range, so it's possible. But you just have to think about probabilities and things like that. So probabilities are always going to be less in your favor when you're in the range. Yeah, maybe there's volume coming in soon. I mean, we do have to think about it. It's the first day of the week. It was the first bit of volume since the weekend. Are we going to break this strong level? This is a super strong area. Are we going to break this right now? I really struggle to think so. So yeah, again, I'm just waiting. Yeah, I'm probably going to call it a stream here soon anyway, but I think if you are looking for a good sell though, Ryan, my honest opinion to you would be, even if you do get a rejection at this level, I think you're going to want to maybe see this support break over here. I think when you see this support break, I think that's going to be good, because then look, we have this clean move down to the support since market open, so you have no real issue there. So if you are going to look for sell in this range, that's what I recommend. I would just say, either wait for this support to break or wait for like a resistance to be formed around this area, and then I think that's going to be a good point for price to continue down, and then you look at targeting this support since market open basically. So I think that's a pretty good idea. What's going on, Salim? I'm good. How are you, mate? What's going on, Henry? Check out what gold's doing over here. Okay, so gold is just coming back down to this support area. So again, it's maybe just gonna range here, gold, but we're just waiting. Okay, cool. So Euro JPY closed above this resistance. So I think at this point, what you want to look for is that support to be formed at this area again. I think it's going to be a good idea for price to continue pushing further up at that point. Did you make it to full stream with FX Hunter? No, I didn't actually. I was pretty busy the other night, so yeah, I couldn't make that one. I spoke to him on the last stream that he came on with Paul, but obviously I got cut off short because of the internet. But no, I didn't attend that live stream. Change the tune over here. Wow, was it a good session? Hopefully you guys made some money. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure how he trades. So yeah, I just focus on the way that I trade. If I see other people's stuff, I just think like good for them, and yeah, good luck to them, and I just try and focus on myself. Oh, okay. More like supply and demand. Okay. Yeah, so I presume then he maybe traded like the higher time frames, something like that. Do what works, that's what's important. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of things that work in Forex. You just, yeah, like you already know, just gotta be consistent with it, and that's it. You know, you just gotta do the same thing every day. Looks like GJ's trying to break up over here, but I'm not so confident it's going to do so. Look at the 15 minute. So it's like your JPY is really starting to push up over here. Yeah, the range is just too small on Euro JPY. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, after the stream, I think if you guys are looking for buys, you'd want to wait for, you know, a candle to close above this area. So you'd want to wait for a candle to close above this resistance. So what you'd ideally want is, you know, like a close above, a retracement, some form of support to form, and then that's going to be a much stronger confirmation for price to continue bullish. Or ideally, you want some form of support above this area would be good as well, because then you have that clean candle to left hand side. But I'm just not convinced we're gonna do it this session. Ooh, looks like USD JPY did continue moving bullish. Came and tapped up into our first target area over there. But again, it's really small range, so yeah, no trade. Oh, all these violins, man. Intense song. I don't usually do the Asian session. It's actually Paul that does the Asian session. I just do the Sunday. I just do the Sunday market open, just to see if there's any potential trades coming kind of before Asian Open, because that's the kind of point where we should start to see something happen on a Sunday. Otherwise, by that point, I'm just not convinced it's gonna happen. So yeah, or like before Asian Open, I want to see, you know, candles breaking above, and then I get the confluence that volume's gonna, you know, push us higher. But I'm not convinced it's gonna happen over here, but I could be wrong. Welcome back, foe. Yes, I'm hosting the London session. Yeah, that's, well, for me that's tomorrow, but yeah, for you today. Well, yeah, technically today actually, because it's gone midnight. But yeah, not for a few hours. Yeah, I've got to get a few hours sleep in, and then we're gonna be back ready. Maybe GJ is gonna do it. I took it to 15. Yeah, but even then, probably the volume's gonna die out. Yeah. For a minute there, I still thought it was yesterday. Let's check out gold over here. Gold seems to be rejecting the support. The fifth, yeah. Still ranging though, gold. Oh, it's morning for you already. Oh, okay, well, it is technically morning for me, but it's only like an hour after midnight. Yeah, I think this 30-minute candle needs to close above this area. The 15-minute candle is going to be too weak. Yeah, I'm just not convinced that. Uh, 15-minute is a weak confirmation candle. Yeah, especially on a breakout, you want to see it like a 30-minute candle close above. You see right now the 15-minute is coming back in the range anyway. So we look at the 15-minute. It's closing above this area, but at the same time, I think this 30-minute could flip and then come back in the range. Could you explain the move that happened from the market open? Well, I mean, I think it's pretty hard to catch this move. I mean, if you think about it, the spreads were ridiculous up until like this point over here. So, yeah, I don't really see there was a trade before that anyway, mate. Yeah, I just think at that point, yeah, it's not tradable. Even if you could catch this, you know, the spread would have been like 20 pips. So yeah, it wouldn't be worth it, mate. If you want to look at, you know, read the actual candles, I mean, okay, let's say the spreads weren't high, you know, at this point when the candle opened with no wick to the bottom, you know, you could fairly say that price should continue moving up, fill the wick, and maybe continue up to this area. So you had like this range to play with, and then kind of this is like your stop. But yeah, there's no point really talking about it, mate. Nothing we can do about that. I mean, you could argue the 15 minutes making a bottom wick, but at the same time, the 30-minute, maybe. Yeah, no problem, Salim. Obviously, you know, we when the spreads are high, there's just nothing we can do. Even if the perfect breakout was happening and spreads are high, still just, yeah, you just can't take it, man. It's just not worth it. Okay, guys, look, I'll be fair. I'll wait for this candle to close, and then if it closes back in the range, we're gonna call it a stream. If not, then I suppose you guys will have to see if you can catch this move. I have not streamed your London session before. Okay, yeah, so if you want to come down well, today for you. So yeah, if you want to head down 9 o'clock GMT, an hour after London Open, we're there Monday to Friday. So bring your charts, bring in, you know, notepad and pen. So there's plenty to learn. So yeah, but that's obviously up to you as well. You don't have to come down, but you're more than welcome. Yeah, I appreciate anyone who takes the time to come and watch the stream and, you know, share their support. So I appreciate that. The thing is, after 10 PM I keep saying the same exact move, then the move gets corrected within 2 hours. Yeah, it's just because of the spread, man. There's nothing you can do about it, you know. It's just not going to be worth to take trades with like a, you know, sometimes I've seen spreads at that time at like, you know, 50 pips. So yeah, man, just got to use what you see and see if you can implement the same idea in another scenario. Yeah, we're gonna wait for this 30-minute candle to close, and then we'll see from there. I usually try to look for an entry after the 1 hour close, as the 4 15-minute candles gives me a better idea of how price is moving. I've been watching this move for over 4 weeks now. Yeah, again, it's just the spreads. I mean, but yeah, it makes sense, mate. What's your bias? Right now I don't have a bias. Only took one trade based on this idea. 8 of 10 have been the move I expected to happen. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like your thinking. I like the fact that you're looking for patterns, and you're looking for similarity in structure. But until, yeah, especially on market open, spreads are going to be crazy. But I think during the week they're a little bit lower. But you'll have to see. You have to see, just mark down what the spreads are at the time you see it happening, and then maybe there's a time the spread's not too bad and you could get an entry. So you have to look at that. 30-minute likely to close back in the range. Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so. I mean, it may not, but I just, like I say, I'm not convinced we're gonna break out of this range just yet. But I mean, I could be wrong. Yeah, like I say, we'll wait for this candle to close, and then we'll assess from there. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it if the spreads are high. That's why I would wait for the 1 hour to close for the spreads to get corrected. But thanks, bro. Yeah, no worries, mate. I like the idea though, so.
boutique is my style now. It's like I'm floating off the ground now. I'm on another level, Cartier on the bezel. Yeah, I get the money and run, I get the money and run. You think I'm falling in love, but it's just snow on the bluff. I get it, I live it, trying to fit in my world, but it's far from basic. No, I'm not complacent, got it so good, no, you can't replace it. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Holla at me, better measure up. Swerving in the Lambo, rev it up. Level up, level up, level up, level up.
So it does look like this 30-minute candles maybe come back in the range. Yeah, I think if it closes like a week, the next one can come back down to the support, but range is going to be a little bit. I personally think if you're looking for a sell, it's going to be better below this support, because then we may correct this whole move up from, you know, market open, so that could work. Yeah, I'm not going to be here for the stream for that.
If you wanna get with me, you better level up. Or you cannot get with me if you don't measure up. If you wanna get with me, you better level up. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Holla at me, better measure up. Swerving in the Lambo, rev it up. Level up, level up, level up, level up. Talking money, we can settle up. If you want me, better level up. Level up, level up. Holla at me, better measure up.
I think after the big correction, the price probably gonna consolidate and start making a clear move around pre-London. Yeah, see, this candle is closing like a very weak bullish candle. It's not closing above this resistance. I didn't think it was going to, so I think at this point, yeah, I think you're right, it's probably just gonna consolidate. So guys, so the candle closed weak bullish, closed back in the range over here. So I think at this point, guys, we are going to call it a stream. Thank you everyone for coming. Really appreciate everyone coming down to watch the stream. So we're going to be live tomorrow live for the London session. It's going to be at 9 o'clock GMT. So hopefully we'll see you guys down over there. But yeah, oh wow, looks like GJ is pushing up over here. It's already broken the high of the, oh wow, looks like it's breaking up over here, but there was no confirmation for this push right now. Yeah, no problem, Salim. I'm just a bit shocked what I'm seeing right now. GJ's pushing up over here. Oh wow, if it's gonna do this whole thing, that's gonna be it's gonna be crazy. That was some push over there. Look at the 15-minute. Yeah, way too aggressive. Oh, we got a new subscriber. Thank you, Puma. Puma. Thank you. Appreciate the subscription. Yeah, look at this push over here. It might just be that initial, you know, Asian open volume, but I mean, at the same time, yeah, there was just no confirmation. There was just no confirmation for this push. I mean, even look at the 15-minute. Yeah. Yeah, it just happens, man. Can't always catch him. And see, if this bullish candle closed above this area, like a weak bullish candle, I'd been more inclined to say that, price could continue moving up. But right now, there was no confirmation. No confirmation whatsoever for these buys. Gold did the same. What did gold do? Oh, okay. Euro JPY. Oh yeah, look at Euro JPY, man. Heading right to target. Okay. Well, at least we called one trade out over here. Yeah, not massive range, but again, yeah, it's nice to see the TP come up right now to be hit. Yeah, so we can see that Euro JPY hit our target area. Look at GJ. GJ is still pushing over here. Yeah, this guy's reacting to this area right now. Somewhat of an area on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, it seems to be volume, but again, like you just said, there was no confirmation for these buys whatsoever. There was no confirmation that price was going to continue pushing. So, yeah, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, see if it does anything else. But if not, I am gonna call it a stream here soon, guys. So yeah, we'll just give it a couple more minutes. Yeah, even if this 30-minute candle closes above, like at this point, the way that I would trade, I would need to see a retracement. I'd want to see a support form, but I'm not gonna wait around for that. What time do you stream throughout the week? So it's 9 o'clock GMT. So hour after London Open. Every day, Monday to Friday. Yes, at this point it still can come back in the range. Yes, sounds like Star Wars or something. This music, doesn't it? Hour after London Open. Yeah, hour after London Open we start. Yeah, this candle's pushing up over here. Yeah, about a 15 pip candle kind of pushed up. So, but again, you know, we can't catch everything. And when there's no confirmation, there's just no confirmation. Okay, guys. So 9 a.m. GMT. Yep, 9 a.m. GMT. So yeah, just think an hour after London Open. If you're subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and then yeah, you can activate notifications. You'll see when I'm live, and then yeah, you can join, come on the stream. We have a lot more people come on during the week, so I think last week we had I think it was 80 people at one point. So we're gonna try and break that today. We want to get today I suppose we want to try and get to that 100 mark. So thanks everybody for coming, really appreciate it. 5 a.m. Okay, well, if you can't make it, you can't make it. You can always watch the recap, but we go through a couple of hours, so yeah. Okay, so thanks everyone for coming to the stream. Unfortunately, you know, we couldn't capitalize on these buys, but it's just the way that it goes. So like I say, we'll see you tomorrow for the London stream. So yeah, so if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. You'll be able to know when I've come up live. Yeah, so thanks everyone for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Salim. Appreciate it. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Thank you again for subscriber there, Gajan Rex. Thank you very much. Yeah, no FOMO. We're gonna let this one go, and we're gonna come back tomorrow, and we're gonna try and catch something in the morning. Let's have a good week this week, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.